All right, so this is going to be the second part of the understanding the nutrition quadrants that we have here. So in the last video, we talked about what falls into each of these categories. Quick summary or quick recap is fruits, vegetables, lean proteins are in this top left category. Your healthy fats, cooking oils, and avocado and things like that, mixed nuts, are in this second category. These are your nutritious but calorie-dense foods. This third category are your starches and carbs. They're mostly for workout days. And then this fourth category are your treats, cheats, and generally inadvisable foods, all right? So now, how do we actually use this quadrant matrix thing to make healthy food choices, okay? So in general, this is just a rough rule for non-exercise days. You want 2 servings from this quadrant, all right? So you want 1 and 2 from this quadrant. This makes a meal, by the way. Sorry, this would be a healthy composition of a meal. So on a meal, you want 2 servings from this quadrant. An example might be a serving of vegetables and a serving of protein, right? So example, 3 cups of spinach sauteed mixed with 4 ounces of salmon, right? That would be 2 items from this quadrant. And then you go to the second quadrant and you're going to take 1 serving for every meal. And that's going to be your cooking oil. If you don't use cooking oil, it'll be avocado or butter, something like that, right? In an appropriately portioned serving. We're not going to get into portion sizing here. That's stuff you can read, you can learn to measure and do visually through Precision Nutrition or just reading the nutrition labels on your foods, okay? And this, in my opinion, is a complete meal for somebody who is not active, right? This is how you're going to meet your calorie targets, get all the nutrition your body requires, and not end up sick as you try to get into a calorie deficit. If you are an active person, and by active I mean dedicating 1 hour 4 to 7 times a week for exercise, you're going to start dipping into this category on a regular basis. This category is your food as fuel only, so your starches, your carbs, things that just provide energy and don't provide a whole lot of nutrition. And you're going to eat 1 serving a day from this category on the days you exercise. On days you don't exercise, you're not going to eat from this category. It's not necessary because you won't have gone above your body's requirements for its pure energy needs, all right? So, really, really simple. We don't need to eliminate carbs. We just want them on days when we're active. We want to limit them on days when we're not active because they are purely energy. They are not vital, nutritious sources of food, okay? All right, so that gives you full meal on a non-active day. The 1, 2, and 3 gives you a full meal on an active day, right? And on an active day, you're only going to have 1 meal with a serving from this. Otherwise, your other 2 meals should basically just be comprised of sections 1 and section 2, okay? Again, the downloadable sheet has all this already on there for you. All right, the last thing, how do you fit things in that are treats, all right? We don't need to eliminate treats. In fact, another video I'll make later on will show you how we can actually accommodate having all the things we still enjoy in our life to still be in our diet and not eliminate them entirely so it feels like we're completely restricting ourselves, right? But for simplicity's sake, 1 to 3 times a week for 1 portion, you can fit it into your diet pretty easily if you take 1 item from this category, which means 1 cookie, or 1 serving of tortilla chips, or 1 serving from a bag of candy. You can add it to your meal by taking out 1 item from here and 1 item from here in a meal that precedes your cheat, okay? So that means you got to take out 1 healthy fat and 1 starchy or energy-based food out of a prior meal in order to fit in 1 serving from this category, all right? So that gives you an easy reference. If you watch this and it's a little confusing, send us some messages or write some notes about what questions you have. We'll try to address them. The downloadable sheet, again, has these instructions. But generally, this is the framework through which we teach people to understand food. They want to prioritize sections 1 and 2. They want to add section 3 in on days when they're active only. And they want to limit section 4, but add it in 1 to 3 times a week in a nice, appropriate portion, not a binge. So it's not a cheat day, it's a treat, 1 treat. You add that in 1 to 3 times a week to keep the things you really love, and you'll see results, right? So this is how you understand food.